So before the break, Malcolm, I asked you, when does a straight beat a flush? Have you got an answer?
Well, after visiting Google, I've come to the conclusion it's a straight flush.
Excellent. Well done. You did well. Well done.
Oh,
now
yeah.
we're
Thank you,
joined by
teacher.
our guest for the week, Malcolm. It's Michelle Orr, presenter from Poker Night Live, an up-and-coming poker player.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you are. Now, I feel we can say that. Malcolm watched you play recently, and I have to say, you were very impressed.
Yeah, I really was. Fantastic improvement.
I was on form for you that night, Malcolm. I knew you were watching.
I wish you could be on form for me every night.
So let's go back to the start. When did you actually start playing poker? It wasn't that long ago, really.
It wasn't, it was a year ago. It was when I first started on Poker Night Live, and I'd never played a game of poker before, and my dad showed me the ropes, and I actually got taught by TV's Nick Wellthall.
Yes.
As you will know.
Me as well. I got 4 of a kind the first time I played it.
Oh, did you? I didn't. But no, he taught me, and I got into the show, and I got a bit of stick, as you probably know, because you probably got the same as being a blonde in poker and not knowing anything. So I thought, right, okay, fair enough. We'll show you.
You rose to the challenge, and you
I
put
did.
everything into learning the game. You really did.
I really have, yeah. I've read, I've seen books, I've watched play, I've watched the celebrities play, I've got all of the poker experts on speed dial. The bad beats in the email box every day. This happened, what do I do? And yeah, I just absolutely love it. I've really come to love the game. So for me, it's not a job, it's a love, you know, it's become my hobby.
That's fantastic. That's really good.
And you've actually gained the respect of the men you work with now, which is impressive.
Yeah, it was and also the guys, you know, the guys that watch the show, the viewers who didn't like me to start with, and
I was one of them.
Steak getting. In fact, were you one of them?
I was one of the. I wasn't a vocal critic, having worked on the show, but I wasn't very keen on the idea.
Yeah. So this is what it was all about for me, because, you know, I'm one for taking on a challenge, as you said, and I thought, no, you know, I'm going to do it. And I've played now, as you saw in the Beat the Percenters as well. I've got quite a good record there. I think it stands at 11 in the money and 9 out the money.
Excellent.
So it's good, yeah. And do you know what? I think I've taken on the style a bit of the likes of Dr. Tom, and I'm quite solid. You know, I'm a woman. I don't bluff. We don't do that, do we?
Never, Michelle. Never.
That's a big mistake if you don't.
But you did it the right way. You weren't vocal back to the guys who weren't too sure about it. You did it through the poker. You proved them wrong through the way you played.
I think the hardest thing to overcome is the fact that I am competitive and I do like to win. And in poker, you can play perfectly and lose. And learning to be able to walk away graciously and think, okay, fair enough, you know, my ace has got cracked by 7-2, it happens all the time, fair, you know, and moving on and not worrying about it and going back to the game. And also, I haven't hammered it. I haven't played every day. I don't sit there for 5 hours. I do it when I want to, when I feel like it, and I enjoy it.
You're playing on the internet yourself when you go home now?
All the time, yeah.
Are you a winner at the moment?
At the moment, I am. On the cash tables, I'm definitely up. On the tournaments, I haven't really kept a record, but I'm about to do
One of the first things that the experts on the programme tell you must keep record.
And well, I was at the site. It keeps record for you, and then I changed sites without making a note of my record, and of course lost it. So I'm going the Beat the Presenter ones. I'm definitely doing well, and at home, generally in all of my accounts, I'm up on what I have been. So for the last year, I'm definitely making a profit, but because I'm only playing in small stakes games, it's a very slow profit. So you don't see the results. So you think, I want to be winning more than that. But if I look how much I'm actually playing at, because I only play in the 15 cent, 25 cent tables, I am actually doing very well. So what I'm trying to do is get my bankroll up enough so that I can move on to the high stakes tables. Because the biggest problem for me is I feel like my players come on brilliantly, and against good players, I can play well. Against players that aren't very good, that don't know what they're doing so much, I'm not yet at the stage where I can completely use that to my advantage. I find it difficult if they don't know what they're doing. I find it difficult to try and work out what they're doing. And so you really have to adapt your play. And I think that's why I do better on the TV tables, where the guys are all of a good standard. And I can work out why they may be doing certain things. Whereas on the internet, because a lot of people don't know what they're doing. You just have to tighten up, really.
That's it. You play a tight game. You can't make moves against players that aren't understanding how to play in your game.
You just constantly get called, but I agree with that. But at least you know as well it's a gradual process, and so you're gradually building a bankroll.
What game are you? Sorry, Didn't mean to interrupt. Carry on.
No, no. And then, yeah, what level will you be moving up to when you've got the bankroll? Where are you aiming for?
Well, I'd like to play. I mean, I'm going to be moving up very shortly to the 25 cent, 50 cent cash tables, and I play on the $10, $20 tournaments. So I'm hoping, you know, they reckon, I say, well, my bankroll gets to say 1,000, I can then move up to the 25, 50, or maybe even 50 a dollar. But you need quite a lot in there, because if you're worried about the money you're playing with, you're never going to play your right game, are you? Which is something I learned from the experts like yourself, Malcolm.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
what are you playing? No limit hold'em?
No limit always, yeah. I'm not a
short
limit player
table
at all.
or full table?
Full table.
Yeah, that's good for a beginner. Short table's too much action for a beginner.
So I'm playing 2 tables at a time, full tables. Sometimes obviously they whittle down. I'm actually doing this week, James Browning has sent me a challenge. I'm doing 10 heads-up tournaments.
Right, okay.
And this is to help my heads-up play, and we're going to see how I do.
So 10 consecutive ones or 10 during a week?
During the week. I'm going to play 10 this week.
Is that something you've been doing? Have you been picking out parts of your game which you see weaknesses in and just focusing on there? Maybe one week, like you say, it's heads up play. The next week you're focusing on something different. Is that a technique you use?
I think that my biggest flaw at the moment is live play, because I never play live. My first ever live game was televised and very, very scary, up against like Tiffany Williams, and that was scary. I come third though, and it was good for me, but I haven't had the opportunity to go out and play live, which is completely different. I mean, I've been playing at the Gut Shot recently.
You did. When I met you, I met Michelle on Friday night for a couple of shandies, and when she came out, you'd been to the Gut Shot, and you were mortified when you got there, weren't you? Tell us what happened.
I didn't play my game. I sat down. You know, I was the only girl there out of about 40 people. I thought, right, bring it on, gentlemen. You know, she's like that. Hello. How you doing? Lipstick out before I started, and I just, you know, I was trying my normal game on there because it's a quick. You know, it's pretty solid. And when you're sitting there live and the hands aren't coming, which they weren't, I literally was getting nothing above a 10, no connecting cards, nothing. I was thinking to myself, like, okay, I need to make a move. I know I need to make a move. But like a 10-2 would come, like, I can't do it with a 10-2. And I knew my image was solid enough that I could make a move with any 2 cards and it wouldn't make a difference. If I got re-raised, I know they've got a hand, I can put it down. So I knew in my head what I had to do. But I sat there thinking, just wait for something decent, you'll be okay. Then eventually I got a pair of 9s and I made a move, and I got called. The flop was ace, king, queen, the worst flop in the world for a pair of 9s. Got raised into, had to fold. Sat there, and the blinds were huge at this point because you don't get as many hands either, because it's slower, it's self-deal. You know, people kept making mistakes and it was really slow. I wasn't seeing many hands.
Can you deal yourself all right?
Yep, I was fine, you know, I was riffling and everything. And yeah, I got another pair of 9s. I raised. He called. The flop come. There was a queen on there, but nothing else. 2 low cards. I thought, you know what? I've got such a tight image. If I push here, I'll push him off. And I doubt he's got a pair of queens in his hand or anything like that, because there was no raise pre-flop. You know, it was just a call. So I ended up coming in for most of my stack, and he called, and he was sitting there with a pocket pair of queens. And yeah, I had hardly any chips left, so I was all in anyway next hand, and I went out. And you know, that was all fair enough, and I don't think I necessarily did anything hugely wrong there. My problem was I didn't get jiggy early enough. I was playing my internet game.
Kamal was getting excited now. You're talking about getting jiggy.
Getting jiggy at the table. But that just doesn't work, and I realised, you know, there's 7 people on the table. Things like Queen 9, King 10 are things, you know, I should be seeing the flop with. Whereas on the net, you won't, you know, especially, you know, maybe in late position, but definitely not in early. And I figured if you're not getting the cards, you know, I need to start seeing more flops early on in a live game, because I'm not going to get as many hands as I will in a
well, I think really if you're going to play a live game, especially at the beginning, you should play a freeze out. And was it a rebuy you were playing?
No, it was a freeze out.
Oh, it was a freeze out. It was good then. I think rebuys for beginners are a bit of a nightmare anyway.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the rebuys.
Are we going to see you in the Stammers Open, even if you don't make it today?
Hopefully. We need to speak to a few people about getting me there, I reckon. Why don't you sponsor me, Malcolm?
Well, I think Sam's a soft touch and he's got a lot more money than me. But the way you played the other day, I'd seriously consider it.
Well, it's my thing at the moment is adapting that play to live play. So today's going to be an excellent opportunity.
It's a big step. It's the right step. You should play. To me, if you're learning the game, the internet is a fantastic opportunity. I never had that in my day. I had to go out and play live against some real crooks, most of them. But you do get the chance to play crooks on the internet instead. So much nicer.
And is that the next thing for you? That is it getting more live experience?
Yeah, I've really got. I mean, all in all, I've played 4. You know, seriously, I've played 4 live games, which is nothing. It's nowhere near enough experience for me. So this is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm playing as much live as I possibly can. I'm loving it, actually.
I was going to say, it's been a year now. Are you finding you're getting a little bit bored, or are you just enjoying it more and more?
No, because there's another step now. It's a whole new world of poker. Live play to internet play. It's completely different. And I'm quite a sociable person, you know. So
no, that's
Michelle will talk